Hey guys, my name is Brandon, aka the BrandoCritic, and today I'll be reviewing Stalag 17. Now the reason why I'm reviewing this movie is because Brandon Florida is his name. He sent this to me in the mail. I have my P.O. box down in the description down below, and any movie that you guys send me, I review it. Now, Brandon, I'm talking directly to you. I want to say thank you so much for your patience with this. I know that you'd sent this a long time ago, and just, you don't want to hear the excuses. I just want to say I'm really, really sorry for it taking this long. I still have your note. I'm going to keep this note with the movie, as you guys can see right here. I'm going to put it in there right now, so it's always going to be there. And yes, I just want to say thank you so much for sending me this in the mail. I always appreciate anything that you guys send me. But Brandon, I want to apologize for it taking this long. So I wanted to do a full review for you because I felt bad that it took this long. So anyways, Stalag 17, here we go. But let me know, guys, have you guys seen Stalag 17? Have you guys heard about this movie? Do you guys like prison break movies like The Great Escape? The one that I watched growing up was Chicken Run, and I know a lot of people go like, Chicken Run? What? That's not a prison break movie. It is, though. Like Chicken Run definitely pays homage to a lot of the movies like Great Escape and Stalag 17. Watching this movie, I noticed that there were quite a few callbacks, or I guess homages in this movie that Chicken Run obviously paid homage to. Anyways, let's get into the review. So Billy Wilder is our director for Stalag 17, and he has done many critically acclaimed movies like The Apartment, Sunset Boulevard, Some Like It Hot, The 7-Year Itch, 2 Marilyn Monroe movies in there, and a couple others as well, but of course he directs Stalag 17. And William Holden is our main star. He actually won the Academy Award for Best Actor for this movie, and I understand why, but he's actually not my favorite character in the movie. Robert Strauss is. He plays Animal. He's like the comic relief of this movie, but I'll get into him a bit later on in the review. Don Taylor, Otto Preminger, Harvey Lembeck, Peter Graves, there are a lot of people in this movie. And the story, it is a prison break movie. Stalag 17 is the camp that all of these American soldiers are in Nazi Germany in 1944. And they're trying to escape, but one person keeps tipping off the Nazis about their escape plans, and we got to try to find out who it is and escape. So what did I think of this movie? Well, I want to let you guys know that it's hard to review a movie that came out 70 years ago because people will always have these different ideas about how to review a movie and what objective criticism means. And if you guys have seen my channel before, I've talked about how there's really no such thing as objective criticism. Sure, I can talk about when this film came out. I believe it was in 1953, right? So I can talk about, the movies that came out at the time. Talk about the actors of the time, the directors of the time, the filmmaking techniques of the time, and how culturally significant this was, and how this movie really stands up against those kind of movies. But I'm not a film historian, right? I've seen quite a few movies from the 50s and 60s and 40s, right? So I'm not like, oh, there's no action in it, this movie sucks. Like, I'm not gonna go into it like that. But I am a 27-year-old watching this movie that came out 70 years ago. So based on my experience, the movies that I grew up with, and my own personal expertise and my knowledge and my own taste of movies, I'm watching this movie for the first time. So I can only tell you what my personal thoughts of it are. And that's what film critics do. Any film critic who says that they don't do that is either lying or delusional, right? So I'm going to tell you what I thought of this movie in my own best way possible, and I'm going to hope that it's entertaining. I liked Stalag 17. Now, I do have some problems with it, but I think that a lot of the problems that I have with this are simply because I'm watching this movie 70 years later. But my problems with the movie aren't necessarily problems with the movie itself. It's just because I've watched movies in 2023. Movies have changed a lot since then, and just the movies that I'm used to are not this, right? So it's a different time period, a different way of making movies. Let's get into it. So the first thing that I want to talk about with Stalag 17 is the one thing that really surprised me, and that's just how funny it is. Now, Harvey Lembeck and Robert Strauss are our two main comedic relief characters, and they get a lot of screen time in this movie, and they are absolutely phenomenal. They have wonderful chemistry. Harvey Lembeck plays Sergeant Harry Shapiro, and he is kind of like the shorter, wise talking, always cracking jokes, kind of older brother, the more centered one to Robert Strauss's Animal. Sergeant Kuzawa is his name, but Animal is his nickname, and he's just kind of the, Andre the Giant in Princess Bride type of character, that kind of big, lovable, dumb oaf. He's not very smart, but his emotions get the best of him. He's like a large infant, when a girl doesn't know that he exists back home, and he's just like, oh, I miss her, Betty, I miss her so much, oh. Hey, come on, don't be crying like that. but she doesn't know who I am. The cat is like walking up. Well, you know what? Let's just keep the review going. Yeah, I know. It's Stalag 17. It's a good movie, huh? Pets, am I right? Or another great scene in the movie is when the Russian camp across the way gets a bunch of women there. So all the men are like freaking out. And of course, these guys haven't seen a woman in years. And they've got big hearts, right? Like, oh, I love you. Please, like, look at me. I'll do anything for you. Like, it's just a lot of fun. I really do love these characters. And that really goes for all of the characters in the camp. There's a real brotherhood-like vibe that all of these guys have. And you really care for them. It's really easy to root for these guys because you feel like you're one of the guys. You feel like you are in the situation with them. So of course you want them to succeed and escape from the Stalag 17. Even though I will admit they do make the best of their situation. They play sports, they crack jokes with the officers. Like, they're always just trying to have a good time. They're always trying to put a smile on their face, even though of course they are trying to escape. And yes, this is war, but they are smiling. And of course, when you smile, you just want to smile along with them. And it's always kind of fun to see the creativity which goes on in the camp, right? There's like a distillery going on with, I guess, like their old potato skins, if I heard that right. And there's like mouse races, and they're like, oh, betting on this person, betting on this person. It's just trying to find the fun in this situation. They're playing like volleyball, they're singing. It's a fun time. It's like almost like summer camp, but of course it's run by Nazis, and if you try to escape, you die. Right? And I also do love the suspense of the characters trying to figure out who is tipping off the Nazis. You think it'd be a foolproof plan, but of course the Nazis are always right there, right around every single corner. As soon as they feel like they got the security beat, you know, the Nazis are one step ahead of them. So of course someone's got to be tipping them off, trying to figure out who's who, who's really on the right side. That stuff is very intense and very engaging. Now, I wouldn't say it's as intense as The Great Escape in The Great Escape, but it's good. It's definitely good. Now, my only real two problems with the movie are that the Germans in this movie don't really feel that intimidating. Now, sure, you do see a failed attempt at escaping the prison, and you see the Nazis basically just mow them down with guns and then put them out for everyone to see. Of course, like that's what's going to happen when you try to escape a prison. But a lot of the Nazi officers are cracking jokes with the prisoners. You don't really see them do anything that out of the ordinary. In terms of feeling like they're real, just pure evil, you know, I didn't really hate these guys. You know, the movies that I'm talking about where you guys watch the villain and you're like, I just hate them. You just want to pace around your living room because you hate them so much. You're thinking, how in the world will our heroes defeat them? You just really hate them so much. They're just evil incarnate. I didn't really feel that with the villains in this movie. And my last problem is that it's slow. Now, like I said earlier, I believe the reason why I thought it was slow is because I'm used to watching, you know, Star Wars and Marvel and, you know, like the big blockbusters of today where the pacing and even just dramas and war films and any film for that matter, the pacing is not the same as Stalag 17. Now, like I said, I have seen many movies from back in the day, and I love a lot of movies from back in the day, but there were many moments in this movie where I was checking my watch because I'm thinking, okay, I know where this movie is going. I know exactly what they're going to try to do. Of course, I didn't know who the culprit was, or who the whistleblower, or I guess, what's the term I'm looking for? The rat. We didn't know who the rat was, but, you know, we like seeing these characters on screen. We like seeing them have a good time. We like seeing them try to form an escape. We like seeing them try to figure out who the rat is. But I'm thinking, okay, I'm getting all of that. Let's just kind of hurry up the pace a little bit. And that's just the time period, though. Like, I can't really complain about that because it's like, oh, this movie doesn't have any CGI. Well, you know what I mean? Now, again, like I said, people can complain about that and say like, oh, I don't like this movie because there's no, you know, action. There's no explosions or anything. I can, you know, put that side of my brain aside and, you know, just really focus on the characters and focus on the story, which is what I look for in movies anyways. That's why I really enjoyed this movie. But I will admit, though, that my, you know, current millennial brain did have some problems with the pacing just because I'm not used to that pacing. So that's my only unfortunate thing. But other than that, though, guys, Stalag 17 was a surprise because I honestly, before I even was sent this movie, I never even heard about it. And I'm so glad to have it in my collection now. So for my reviews, I would say, does it suck? No, it doesn't suck. If you need those explosions, if you need that constant just pumping of adrenaline and dopamine, then this movie might not be for you. But if you guys like character, if you guys like story and more slow, tense moments, then Stalag 17 is definitely for you. I'm giving this movie a 4 out of 5. I really did enjoy it. Maybe more appreciated it than enjoyed it because, like I said, I was checking my watch a few times just because I'm not used to the pacing. And the cat is going crazy. Hello. Mwah. Say hi. What's going on, buddy? Weirdo. But regardless, Brandon, I just want to say thank you so much for sending this to me, and thank you for your patience. I know it took way too long for me to do this video, but hopefully you appreciate this video and you enjoyed it. And if you guys watched Stalag 17, let me know your thoughts of it down in the comment section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe. Join Patreon. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.